hand clap. We had a good time in here in the first service. I don't intend it this way. Y'all have had more coffee than they. Hey, first of all, thank you for showing up in the rain. Come on, some people. Y'all woke up, it was raining outside. If y'all anything like me, sometimes when it starts raining, I'm like, Lord, I roll over and snuggle in. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I want to settle in for a moment. I'm so happy that you were here this morning. It makes some noise if you were here last Sunday. Were you here last Sunday? Last Sunday we preached a message called we started a series. I don't know, it's a mini series, two, three. I don't really know how many times I'm gonna do this. I just called the Get Up Goal. You gotta learn how to get up sometimes. And last Sunday was called I Will Get Through This. The goal is not to get to it, is to get through it. Sometimes we can become so goal-oriented that we wait. Well, I didn't make it. Well, the goal is to get through it, and at the end, then we get to it. Let's talk about how we can't confuse our destination and our journey. You don't quit your journey because the destination isn't there. I made the statement: this world isn't the prize. Jesus is. Come on, somebody, you know that. This world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. I'm called to something bigger, greater than anything that we are looking at here. I'm called beyond this thing. Thank you, Jesus. Sometimes whenever I speak, I like to start out with a little story, and a lot of times I'm shaking it up today. I'm going to do some things a little bit different here for a moment, but most of y'all here probably know I'm from South Louisiana. There's a story they tell about a hurricane that went through Ville Platte, Louisiana, tore the shingles of a Boudreaux's house, tore the shingles off his roof. Who all here been through a hurricane before? You know what I'm talking about? Well, they was too poor to have insurance, so Boudreaux he's up there on top of the roof, trying to fix shingles, nail down some tarps. He looks out there in the front yard, and Thibodeau comes walking up. Looks up at him and says, Boudreaux, he said, come here. Bruce said, what you want? He said, no, he said, come here. He said, what you want? He said, come here, I gotta tell you something. So Boudreaux climbs up the roof, down the ladder, across the yard, through the gate, around the house, across the front yard. Thibodeau looks at him and he says, Boudreaux. He said, yeah. He said, I ain't got no insurance. He said, can I borrow some money? Boudreaux looked at him. He said, I tell you what, follow me. So he follows him across the front yard, through the gate, across the backyard, up the ladder, up the roof, down the roof. He waits. Finally, Thibodeau climbs over, all huffing and puffing. He looks at him. Boudreaux says, no. Anybody ever had somebody make you take all kinds of extra steps for an answer you could have gave them out in the open? But I just told you, if you just say, I'd be like, no. But now we got to go through all these hoops. I got to hear your life story. I didn't have no money to give you in the first place. We could have shortened this whole thing up. If you'd just say, I love you, I just ain't giving you no money. Come on, somebody. Oh. As a man who roofed a lot of houses in my life, a lot of people don't know that here. I was a roofer. I've roofed houses for years. I always want to know that I'm getting up for the right reason. You know what I'm talking about? You're not done yet. Keep going. Hey, y'all give them a hand. They're so good at it. I'm just messing with you. I was actually done. That's it. You quit at the spot in my notes where I put musicians. I mean, like on the T. Good job. God bless y'all. Y'all go be seated. Now he ain't gonna leave. He gonna stay. We're like, I'll stay here all Sunday now. Somebody online's watching today. These people are weird. We are. Hang on. Hey, has anybody here ever been ripped off? Raise your hand. You ever been ripped off before? Come on, you know what I'm talking about? Like Marketplace. Come on, you know how Marketplace, the best place in the world. Put stuff online for somebody to never respond. They want to know if you still got it. Yeah, I still got it. And you never hear from them again. Some of y'all, that's you. Y'all been doing it. You know, the day before payday, everything looks good. You out there bidding on stuff, trying to negotiate prices, knowing you ain't got the money. ripping people off out there. We got them all worried about stuff. I lived in Lagos, Nigeria. Anybody other than me here ever got an email from a prince? Okay, I was just checking. Make sure we're in the right place. But I lived in Lagos, Nigeria, and we have a term in Nigeria called 419. Anybody here know what? It wasn't in the first service. Anybody here, you know what? You ever heard 419? You know what 419 is? There's like one person. You were in the first service. That's why you heard me. In Nigeria, they have a thing we call 419, and 419 refers to section 419 of the Nigerian Criminal Code that deals with specifically fraud. So, matter of fact, if I get a call every now and then, we used to get more Nigerian phone calls, people trying to scam you. Now they're all from India. Just being honest, come on. Hello, my name is Tom. No, it's not. Your name is not Sarah. I'm not buying it. Mr. Singh, I can buy, but I'm not buying like, anyway. So, y'all, this was first service too. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Y'all pray for me. But I get the scammers, they would do this thing, and the 419 became a thing because we would have people who would show up, and they would be trying to scam you. And as I lived in Africa for a while, I would learn them more and more. And so the Africans would holler out if they saw someone trying to scam someone, or if someone tried to scam you, they would point and they would holler, 419! They're letting everybody know, this guy's about to rip you off. He's a scammer. It became popular through it's a spread of what we call advanced fee scams. This is where they create some type of a ruse. Normally it's to generally appeal to your greed or your fear, and then they make promises. It's the whole, promises up front and you're going to pay for it later. Come on, anybody other than me ever had that before? Promises up front. Some of y'all divorced from this. Promises up front, but you're going to pay for it later. Come on. Like this is the whole, it's the way that they did 419. Some of y'all here ought to text somebody right now, 419. They don't know what you're talking about, but like in Jesus' name, just letting you know who you are. It's the whole up front, and then we got to turn around and pay later. And I don't know about y'all, but the devil loves a good scam. The devil loves he loves for nothing more for you to fall for a trick, for every trick, matter of fact, that he's got for you. And I just want to give you our simple title for part 2 of this series today. It's the get up goal, but the simple statement behind that is this. This is today's sermon title, don't fall for it. Can you look at your neighbor right in their eyeballs and tell them, say, don't fall for it. Pick another neighbor. Come on, you've been looking at the same one. Say, don't fall for it. Oh, it's so easy sometimes to fall for it, especially when your heart is involved, especially when the love of money is involved. You will just fall for it, thinking that that's a simple message this morning. Before you leave, you're going to learn not to, come on, somebody, fall for it. Oh. Last week we talked about Daniel, the man, the myth, the legend, the real Daniel. The man who was willing to go into the fire with 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and a billy goat. I'm not saying it. Don't look at me. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is actually, these 3 men that Daniel is, don't say it out loud, they'll hear you say it. These 3 men that they follow. Some of y'all came from Sunday school like me, and that woman right there last week, she was just messing with me. Y'all pray for her in Jesus' name. But here we have these 3 men that followed. Daniel was the man who did not fall for it. And so as we read this story and we studied this, I told myself, I don't want to fall for what Daniel fell for. If Daniel didn't, then I can learn something from the life of Daniel. Here's Daniel. He's exiled to Babylon. He's been taken out of his land and he's forced into exile. Pushed away. Everything is lost, his location, his language. Matter of fact, to the point to where we read that they even began to change their names. Crazy thing is this, is that in the middle of their exile, in the middle of their mess, the devil loves nothing more than a good scam. He really loves a good scam if he can get you scammed up in the middle of your mess, whenever you are distracted. If he can get you distracted where you're looking at the wrong place, at the wrong thing. Daniel chapter 1, verse 6 through 7, he said this. He says, among them from the Judites were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief eunuch gave them names. He gave them the name Belteshazzar to Daniel, Shadrach to Hananiah, Meshach to Mishael, and Abednego to Azariah, or Abednego, if there's actually how it would be pronounced, to Azariah. As I said last Sunday, and it bears repeating, first of all, I want you to know something. The devil loves nothing more, and I've said it, this is the third Sunday in a row. He loves nothing more than to have you called by something other than what God called you to and created you for. What I mean by that is simply this. If the devil can get people around you to call you by something that you were not created to and created for, he feels like he has got you in a good scam. All the better if he can get you to call yourself something that God did not create you to or create you for. What does that look like? It simply looks like this. It's the person who looks in the mirror and says, I'm called by God, but I've got a past. It's the person who says, I'm called by God, but I have this one little thing that I fail at. I know that they still call me Jenny from down the block because of what I did in high school, but let me tell you something. If he can get you to fudge just a little, if he can get you to change your name and to call you something other than what God's called you to, he knows that the scam is in effect. I want to tell you something. God did not call you to be Jenny down the block. God did not call you to be the person with a bad past. God called you. He said, you are more than a conqueror. You are my child. I own the cattle of 1,000 hills, and you can stand up and do what I have commanded you to because I created you for more. Hey, I'm a little bit salty today. I don't know about y'all. I told them in the first service, if problems was $100 bills, this week I'd be a millionaire. Oh, my God. I done fought more. Look, people say I done fought more devils. First of all, there's only one, okay? But I think I found him this week. He looked at world wars and he looked at everything else. He was like, no, I'm going to mess with Brandon. I'm going to take a week off from the president. I'm going to mess with that little joker right there. And so what happens is this, is today I showed up with a microphone a little bit salty. I'll be honest with y'all because he's got to learn something about me. If you kick dirt in my face, I'll stand up and stomp a mud hole right in the middle of you because I am called to spread the gospel. And he that is in me. Hey, I want you to know something. He's bigger and greater than any enemy. The devil, I already know what happens to you, and I showed up today to remind the devil about something in the book of Revelation that I want him to know that you're going to be put in chains, and you're going to hell yourself, and I have the ability to make heaven my home, and you ain't. So I want to put a notice out to the devil right now. If you fight me, I will remind you of what I am called to. The devil would love nothing more for you to fall for every trick he's got for you. A good scam. You know the best way to stop a scam is exactly what we did in Africa. Expose it. What you said? Nah, it ain't who we are. The devil would nothing. I'll be honest, some of the junk I fought, and I got to be careful with what I say because I can promise you the haters are watching me online today. I can't say it, trust me. Somebody said, say it. No, we don't. No, sir. I got more wisdom than that. There's nothing, he would love nothing more. And so what we are called to do is expose these things. I'm going to keep going because I may come back to it in Jesus' name. God made me forget it. Thank you, Jesus. This crazy thing is this. I want to show you something about this story. What seems to be superficial was a lot more. I want to give you the names, first of all, if you don't mind. I want to show you the names. I want to show you the names that they have. The names that they have, that they were given in Hebrew was Daniel. Go ahead, you can put the slide up for me. Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Do you see something in common here? We have an EL, an AH, an EL, and an AH. Now, there's a pattern here that you must recognize because a name in Hebrew meant something. Now we name people weird stuff. Okay, come on. All my millennials named Tyler. Don't even know what your name means, but it's just Tyler. It's just what it is. I don't know. Some of y'all be naming y'all kids some weird stuff too, I'll be honest with you. Y'all see how nobody said anything? The old people's like, that's right. We named ours John. Plain to the point, simple. David, biblical. Come on, somebody. Like they come up, but they had a meaning. They didn't just name them because of how it sounded, but they named them because the name had some meaning. The El that you find in Mishael and in Daniel, it actually was the El in Hebrew, which was a reference to Elohim or El Shaddai. It was a godly reference. They are saying this child is holy. He's set apart for a purpose, and this is the reason why we have named him this thing. The that we find in Hananiah and Azariah is actually short for Yahweh, which is the Lord. It's something that it wasn't just a name, but there was a meaning behind the name. We have 4 young men who have God as a part of their name. Last week I showed you where the devil doesn't want you to get through it. The start of a cycle is when you stay in your circle. And when we took him, we made the tunnel and we had the kid climb around in a circle. I want you to know something first of all. That the devil does not intend, his intent is that you would always consider this place right here on earth to be your destination. And he would consider that your problem that you're fighting, the issues that you are facing right now to be unique to you. The devil's first idea is that if he can separate you. If he can separate you to make you think that you were isolated, you were on your own. I said it in the first service, I'm going to say it again. I was riding down the road. I was talking to somebody who does not attend this church on the phone. And they were talking to me. It was a young man. He's talking to me about his problems. He's talking about his marriage problems and his wife this and his wife that and my old lady this and my old lady that. And I want y'all to know something, men, in case you don't know it. The ladies don't like being called the old lady. Don't ask me how I know, okay? All my bikers, y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so he's popping his gums in the entire time. I don't listen to him. You know, I'm gonna try to be a good pastor. And I'm listening to him, and I looked beside me, and there was a man with me who has had his fair share of issues and problems in his marriage, like the rest of you. And so I reached up, and I was like, you know what? I hit speakerphone. I'm just listening. This guy's talking about it. He's giving his wife the what for. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't know what for. But he's going, and I looked at him, I did this. And we finished the phone call, and I hung up, I put the phone down. He looked at me, he goes, I have said those same things. I said, I know, you and everybody else. But the difference is you want to get divorced. You know why everybody wants to get divorced over there? Because you think that your problems, are specific to you. Can I tell you something, just in case you don't know? Men, I almost said something that was not smart. They're all the same. Can I help you? Ladies, they all the same. The problems that you are fighting, they are not unique to you. Do not let the devil isolate you and tell you that just if you got to know something, that it's not specific to you. The devil got the same tricks he's been playing over and over again. But if you lean into the scam of isolation and think that it's just your problem, I want you to know something. No, the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. Don't fall for it. The devil is a liar. Don't fall for it. These 4 young men trying not to fall into a cycle, and Daniel doesn't. The devil doesn't want you to get through it. As long as God is with you, I want you to know something. First of all, you will get through. You will. It is the antithesis of what he wants out of everything. The antithetical thing is that you make it through. His entire objective is that you don't. That you consider this world to be your home. This world is not my home. I am just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. Changes their name. Daniel to Belteshazzar, Hananiah to Shadrach, Mishael, Meshach, Azariah to Abednego. The crazy thing is this, it would seem like on the surface they're learning a new language. They're going from English, right, to the Babylonian language. And so it makes sense. You know what I'm talking about? Like I had a friend, we called him Vietnamese Tom. The first time I met him, 4'2", come on, smelled like shrimp. Tom still to this day, as far as I know, owns the most shrimp boats in the Gulf of Mexico from any man. Tom he's something else. He's a great guy. And I'll never forget the first time I met him. I walk up to him and I was like, hey, my name is, but they call me, I ain't gonna say what my nickname is, because some of y'all here start calling me by it, and you don't need to know. So he looks at me, he goes, nice to meet you. My name is Tom. I looked at him, I was like, no, it's not. Come on, bro, you can barely speak English. Your parents didn't look at you and go, oh, you look just like a Tom. No. He started laughing. He goes, well, my name's Tong, T-O-N-G. He was like, but white people can't say Tong. He was like, so I just told him, call me Tom. And I was like, okay, from now on, in my book, you are Shrimper Tom, Tong. And so I've always called him Shrimper Tong since then. The crazy thing is this, is even though it seems so little, it actually divided Tong from his history. Even though and I'm a big person. Matter of fact, I had a girl I went to college with. Her name was Jinghua. She was from China. No, Taiwan, I'm sorry. Her name was Jinghua. Now, I don't know how to properly say it. That's as best as I could do. Jinghua? I don't know if it's Jinghua. Jinghua, I don't know. All I know is everybody started calling her Froggy. I was like, why they call you Froggy? She said, because when Americans announce my name and you say Jinghua, she said, that's frog in Chinese. I was like, baby, I'm giving it my best bet, but I ain't gonna call you Froggy. I will continue to call you Froggy in Chinese at least. Come on, somebody. Just that little bitty bit of separation, just that little bit of change. You see, actually what happens is it took out the humanity, it took out the history. And I want some of you here to know this, even though it seems to be a simple thing that you have a nickname from something of your past. It's just that little thing that the devil said, hey, you know what? If I can get them to call themselves by something other than what God created them to, if I can get them to feel like inside of themselves that they are just, that I've always quit, so quitting is what I do. And whenever the times get hard, I get going, I don't stand up. If I can get them to go on the job and say those words that they just say because they're at work, it's just that little thing that somehow or another, you give up little by. Oh, it's just a little thing. It's just a little thing. The devil's favorite thing to do, his desire is to confuse adaptation for compromise. Oh, you don't understand. Come on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anybody here ever heard the term work wife? All the ladies made more noise than the men. Yeah, I have. We divorced. Come on. Yeah, work wife, work husband. I used to hear these terms. They would throw out there the entire time. Oh, you don't understand. It's just, that's my work wife right there. That's the reason why we buddy like that. To call survival strategy. To call surrender wisdom. Oh, it's just the stuff we say. That's just, the industry that I'm in. Come on, I was in oil and gas in the Army. We could cuss like sailors. It's the entire thing that we do. Pastor, it's not that big of a deal. Listen to me. Do not fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Oh. It's just my job. It's where I work. Problem is this, is I believe that we confuse working in Babylon for working for Babylon. You don't realize it, but whenever you show up to work and you begin to let your mouth say the things that you do, you go from working with sinners to working in sin. Daniel, what did you do different? He said, I may be in Babylon. I may be working in Babylon, but Babylon is not inside of me. Why? Because he made a little decision. He said, I draw a line right here. There's some things that I don't cross. Pastor, what is your point this morning? My point is simply this. I want you to learn to draw some lines. Don't fall for it. What are you saying? Hey, I may be the only one that don't cuss on this job, but I drew a line and said that my mouth is holy because the words that are coming out of it were meant to draw people higher. The words that come out of my mouth were meant to draw people into a relationship with Jesus, and I will not allow the doctrine of devils to come out of my mouth anymore. Whenever a pretty woman walks by, I ain't got to open my mouth. Instead, I can tell you that you are created by God who loves you for a purpose. It's not by accident that you are here, but you are born for a purpose, and it's to live for Jesus. I make up my mind. I draw a line in the sand. The devil's desire is that you would turn translation into transformation. It's just the little things. Oh, it's just the little thing that I do. I'm telling you this right now because you translate your truth instead of the truth. His desire is that you would translate the truth long enough that it begins to transform you. But Pastor, I'm just out here surviving. How many times I've heard that? How you doing? We're going to make it. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. I can tell you right now, you're doing it on your own strength. Who's the we you with? You and the devil? Come on, I am more than a conqueror. I know what the end is, and I know that I'm going to make it. It's not a we gone. No, I have been called for a purpose. The devil's tactic is to turn survival into surrender. That's what he wants. Well, we gonna make it. Let me tell you this. The reason why you gonna make it is because your entire past was survival. I want you to know something. If you came up in a way to where financially it was always paycheck to paycheck, you don't have to live that way. God bless you with more, but the problem is you got the same habits of survival that mom and daddy came up with. I want you to know something. You are called beyond what mom and daddy did. That's the reason why God blessed you with more than what they ever had. But you gotta make up your mind. I am not called just to survive, but I am called to surrender my life to him. And whenever God begins to teach you new lessons, you're no longer surviving, but you are stepping up and surrender to Jesus. And I want you to know something. It'll profit you eternally. You are called to this place. Stop trying to lay up treasures right here and you make up your mind, God, I am called to more. I'm not just out here surviving. I'm out here to thrive in the name of Jesus. Pastor, I'm glad. This is my pet peeves, I'll be honest with y'all. The devil's tactic is to turn survival into surrender. The devil, though, he wants to convince you that just bowing a little bit will help you to stand a little bit longer. If you bow just a little bit, it'll help you to stand. I got to calm down so y'all can hear me. If you bow a little bit, I think it'll be 45. Come on, anybody other than me? I catch myself throughout the day doing this. Come on, you know what I'm talking about? I said it's just me. You know what I'm talking about? Like the thing is too, when you gotta make the face. You can't just bend over look like you're passing gas. You gotta bend over. You gotta make it like it hurts. You know, Daddy told me whenever I was a kid, I'll never forget, I was putting something in the back of the truck, and I was big bad, you know, and I just picked it up and I threw it in the truck. He goes, no, son. He said, put that back on the ground. I said, what? He said, pick it up, put it back in the truck. He said, no, son, that's not how it works. He said, put it back on the ground. I put it back on the ground. He said, watch this. Daddy picked it up. It weighed like 5 pounds. He was like, It's in the truck. I said, why? He said, because he said, if there's a lady around, he's like, you want her to at least assume that you're a hard worker. Not all advice from your father is good advice. This is my point. I catch myself bending over, though. The crazy thing is this, is if you read the story of Daniel, what I believe it began was in a solidarity of the mind that he said, I'm not even going to bow a little. It's funny to me that the most dangerous piece of equipment in 2025 is this thing right here. And it also blows my mind that of all things that were created, the thing that you have to do to... Oh, Pastor, you don't understand. I would never bow to a false idol. Yeah, but you will bow to TikTok, and you'll bow to Facebook, and you'll bow to Instagram, and you'll bow to Safari, and you'll bow to everything else that happens to pop up on your cell phone, because he doesn't care if you bow to idols if he can just get you to bow a little bit. Well, Pastor, what does it matter? Let me tell you something. You weren't called to this. You were called to this. You were called to people who were standing in front of you. And I want to encourage somebody this morning. You ought to put it down and recognize that there's an entire world out there that you are called to. I am not the church. This is not the church. You are the church. You are the one that's called to spread the gospel. And you don't bow a little bit, but you look up and say, God, hey, I need you to help draw me to those people. God, help open my mouth and open my mind so that I can do your will. Look at your neighbor, say, I don't even bow a little. Come on, you can try that again. Look at your neighbor, say, I don't bow even a little. The thing that gets me is this. We run into people quite often, my wife and I both in conversation, that they tell me, you know, well, I thought that I was going to fall, but God gave me the gift of discernment. Can I tell you all the most lied on, misappropriated gift I've ever heard biblically is the one of discernment.
Most of y'all here, I'll be honest with you, don't know what discernment is. You have an assumption of what it looks like. Hell's most effective trick is not open rebellion, it's gentle redefinition. Hell's most effective trick is not open rebellion, it's gentle redefinition. You don't wake up in Babylon overnight. You don't wake up on drugs with a needle in your arm overnight. That's not the way it happens. There was always, you don't wake up divorced overnight. You don't wake up a pathological liar overnight. You don't wake up a gossiper online overnight. There is a pattern of things that you walk into to where you find yourself in a position. Hell's most effective trick is not open rebellion, it's gentle redefinition. And most of the time it happens whenever somebody makes themselves God. You don't understand. I've been given the gift of discernment. So now all of a sudden you have the ability to stand above and to look and you begin to judge everything around you. You don't understand. I know who that pastor is. Don't laugh. Y'all pray for me. I'm trying to keep it. The lying of the gift of discernment, you don't have to wake up. You don't wake up and you drift by calling compromise context, and you drift by calling disobedience discernment. So what is the scam? What is the scam we're talking about? Daniel, Belteshazzar, Hananiah, Shadrach, Mishael, Meshach, Azariah, Abednego. I want to first recognize one thing. What's missing in the names? Now, I would buy it if I looked at it and I was like, you know what, they took God out the names. But you know what? In translation, they had to translate it to something somewhat similar. I don't speak the language of the Chaldeans. I don't speak Babylonian. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it just makes sense to me. Tom. Just a little bit. God is missing. I want you to know something. Devil's his first trick and his first intent is to take God out of your identity. Oh, it's easy to look godly at church. But what about on Monday? Matter of fact, what about on Wednesday? I'll give you one better than that. What about on Friday night whenever you're lonely? I'll get all y'all here in just a second. What about on Saturday night whenever it's you and your wife? A man asked this question. He said, what would happen? He said, if I allowed in my message, he said, I just slipped a word, and he said, I cursed God's name. He said, I had a young couple come up on stage and start taking their clothes off in the middle of the Sunday morning sermon. He said, 5 minutes later, he said, I slipped up and I said the F word. He said, I had them all the way down to their underwear. He said, by the end of the sermon, I slip up and I make another curse word. He said, and then all of a sudden you look and there's 2 naked people in them. He said, what would happen in your church? The man said, I believe most people would probably get up and walk out. He said, then explain to me how it's okay on Saturday night on the TV in your bedroom, but it's not okay on Sunday morning. I want to ask you what is holy and what is little. At what point are you willing to make up your mind of what you are called to? Just a little bit. So what was it replaced with? What was the scam? Musicians, y'all come on. What was it replaced with? Danielle was changed to Belteshazzar. Bel, B-E-L, this suffix is actually, it's B-A-A-L, Baal, you've heard, which is also in reference to Marduk. Marduk, M-A-R-D-U-K, was the king of the gods of Babylonia. Maybe that was just a happenstance, just the way it landed. How about Ach? A-C-H. A-C-H was to the god Aku. It was short for Aku, the god of the moon, more commonly known as the god of sin. What about Abednego? What about this N-E-G-O, Abednego? It's short for the servant of Nebo or Nabu, the god of wisdom, writing, and science. All of this seems to be way different than what we read the name changes. But we're reading them in English, and they spoke Hebrew. And you have to understand that back then, names were chosen because of meaning. So what did it actually mean? Daniel, you see, means God is my judge. That means that God is the person who not only judges me, but he's also my protector, who keeps me going right. The crazy thing is Belteshazzar means Bel is my protector. What about Hananiah? Hananiah means the Lord has mercy, but Shadrach, it says the moon god who protects me at night. What about Mishael? Mishael means who is like God, but Meshach means who is like Aku. What about Azariah? Azariah means the Lord helps me. Abednego means I help Nebo. It was just little. The devil isn't trying to change you all at once. It's little by little. A little neglect of prayer. A little compromise of conviction. A little delay in obedience. You know, the devil doesn't kick down the door. He just waits for you to stop locking it. Your soul does not decay in a day. It rusts by little. You don't walk away from God at once. Generally, it happens little by little. I just don't feel like getting up and going to church today. No reason. I just, I had missed. I just fell asleep looking at my phone, so I didn't pray. I stayed up so late, I didn't really have time to get in prayer or get into the Word of God. Just a little, just. It's by little. Pastor, what's your point? Simply this. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the little. As we read verse 8, we find where he drew the line. And I want to tell you something this morning. If you have not drawn the line in your life, you've got to draw a line somewhere. Daniel determined, he said, that he would not defile himself with the king's food or with the wine he drank. Can we talk about holiness? Oh, some of y'all here have flashbacks. Oh, say the word holiness, you're like, my God. Somebody weaponized it in your past. But raise your hand here if you know the painting, The Lady with the Fan. Anybody? The lady, Mike, Miranda? The Lady with the Fan. There's one more. Okay. There's a painting out there called The Lady with the Fan. Anybody here know the name of Gustav Klimt? Gustav Klimt, painter? He painted in 1917, 1918, he painted a painting called The Lady with the Fan. And it's nothing to write home about to me. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't put it in my house, okay? Actually, I would once I read all this. But The Lady with the Fan, 1970, it was sold to Erwin Bowler around 1920. He bought it for what is assumed to be somewhere between, in US dollars today, $15 and $70. $15 to $70. Big money back in the day. In 1994, it was sold for the first time that we know of with a value price of $11.6 million. In 2023, 2 years ago, it sold for $108,400,000 million. $108,400,000. I'd hang it in my living room, just so y'all know. I wouldn't invite anybody over, but I would hang. Oh, the value. Most of y'all here, you can't keep your house clean. How in the world you gonna keep a painting from 1920? That's me on the house clean. The crazy thing is this, is the reason why it became so valuable over time was because whenever it was first brought in, it was assigned a value. And he looked at it and he said, you know what? I may not have paid a lot for it today, but to me, this thing is holy. And so because it's holy, I am separating it for a purpose. I understand that there is something intrinsic in the artist there's something intrinsically of worth because of the person who put this thing together, that there is going to come a day whenever it is going to be worth more than silver and gold. It's going to be worth way more than anything I have ever done. I want to tell somebody this morning simply this: don't fall for it. The lie that the devil would love to tell you more than anything else is that you are cheap and you are worthless. I want you to know something. There is a reason why he held it to the side. There's a reason why he walked by a $15 painting and he kept the dust off of it, and he made sure that it wasn't left outside, because he recognized that there is value. This thing is holy. Can I tell you something this morning? You're holy. You are separated for a purpose and for a value, and people may not understand the reason why you don't do the things that you do. Or you say, and the reason why whenever they call you, invite you, and you say, no, I'm sorry, but I don't do that thing anymore. And they don't understand the reason why whenever they call you and ask you, would you come over? I know it's Friday night and you're lonely, and you say, yes, I am lonely, but that's not who I am anymore. Why? Because I am holy, I am cold, I am separated, and there's going to come a day whenever everybody, every knee is going to bow and every tongue will confess. And my confession will not be forced, because I knew the day was coming whenever he looks at me and he says, well done, well done, well done, thou good and faithful servant. You don't understand the value that I've got, and the reason why I say no, and the reason why I can quit the things that I can quit, and I can love the way that I can love, and I can give to God the way that I can give to God, because I look and I say, I am holy because he is holy. Let me tell you something this morning. You are holy because he is holy. You are holy because he is holy. All across the house, let's stand if you don't mind right now.